Hi, my name is Robert Oxley, and here's the 5 things in my studio I can't live without. First off is the most important paint that I and many artists have, and that's titanium white. Without white, you can't really basically do anything. It uses it to change tone, highlights. You have to have white. Second item is this print of J.C. Dolman's Famine, which is in Salford Art Gallery, which I used to visit to quite regular, especially when I was at Salford University on a lunchtime. Instead of going to the pub, I'd go and visit this painting. It's a huge painting. This doesn't give it justice, but what you can see is death coming over this snowy hill with an arrangement of wolves and ravens. A lot of people think it's about, end of time, some sort of biblical event, but it's not really. It's about following your creative dreams so you don't starve yourself. That's what the word famine, that's from J.C. Dolman's own mouth, really. He's known for his chocolate box paintings of little dogs, from Victorian times, but when he's put humans and animals together in scenes, they really are fantastic. There's a really lovely one of chimpanzees in the Lane Art Gallery in Newcastle, but this one is my favourite, J.C. Dolman's Famine. Number 3 is my collection of books. We'll start with this one by Robert Crumb. Here's just 4 of his sketchbooks. He has 6 sketchbooks, and I've got God knows how many other editions. But what I love about Robert Crumb, he really signifies the 1960s in California, San Francisco in the 60s, which when I was a teenager, I thought I'd been born in the wrong time, and I yearned to be part of that flower power culture. And he gives a really weird psychedelic interpretation of life. It's not for everybody, and it's certainly not for kids, so think on. So this book here is the All-Star World Animal books, and I've got 15 of these. These were given to me when I was a kid by my granddad, who's sadly no longer with us, but these books were what started me drawing wildlife. Without these books, I probably wouldn't have took pencil to paper, really. These are from, I would say, the mid to early 80s, but the photography in there is really, really nice. You never really see it's too high definition now. These are a bit more saturated. And they'll take the animal, we'll have photographs of it, but there'll be lovely drawings of the poses of the animals. So there's some great reference photographs in there. So I'll keep these till my dying day, really. This book here, Views, from Roger Dean. Now, if you're asking, right, is there a moment when you realised you wanted to be an artist? I would probably have to say back in a pit mining village in Newcastle in the 80s, sitting in my friend's house with this copy. Not this copy, this is a reprint, but Roger Dean's Views was a really important book that we used to rent from the library nearly every other week. And there was an image in here of a skeleton, which I was absolutely obsessed with when I was a kid. And we used to sit and draw it over and over again. It was done from a Scandinavian band called Midnight Sun, I believe. It's a skeleton on an iceberg, but it was designed as a chair design, which he reappropriated for the album cover. Pretty uncomfortable, but it's a lot of fun. What I loved was the extended spine, to fix that design problem of it being a chair. Another classic book that's important to me is The Art of Horror. I've had this before. This is a reissue, but it takes you through the history of horror film artwork. My favourite being Basil Gogos because of his colours. The colour schemes in horror movies are great. Your bright greens, your bright reds, your bright yellows, the stark lights, the hard shadows. Everything you can get from painting you can find in The Art of Horror. Fantastic. But for colour schemes, if I'm stuck, I'll always go back to Basil Gogos. He was brilliant, much loved. Yeah. Number 4 is what I can't do without in my studios is my guitars. I've got a nice green Gibson SG here, an orange O bass, which I love. It's a bit heavy, but it's got a bit of a neck dive, but that's fine. I'm not a great player, but I got them so I could stop smoking, to help me to stop smoking. So every time I want a cigarette, I'll pick up the guitar and try and play that for 5 minutes. It's just a nice little distraction from when I want a break. Instead of smoking, I'll pick up my bass guitar. And it's worked. I haven't smoked a cigarette for 5 years. I can't play guitar like I should have been playing for 5 years. That's a fact. But it just keeps me fingers busy. Number 5 is my CDs. As you can see, I've got quite a collection of CDs and records. I haven't got my records in the studio with me. But yeah, without the music, you know, you're standing by yourself with your own thoughts, and that's, you know, when the carnival starts. So I have to keep some music on at all times. I've got everything from thrash metal to Brazilian beats to reggae to soundtracks to 50s music, 60s music, all sorts of stuff. This past week, I've been mostly listening to a band called Can from Germany, 1960s avant-garde music. Absolutely brilliant experimental music. It's music that you can just put on and just drift off somewhere, and an hour later when it's finished you think, where have I been? But it's really good music. What really got me into art was music, really. It was like, you know, album covers and style and fashion. So yeah, gotta have your tunes, man. That's the 5 things in my studio I can't live without. Thanks very much for watching.